In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on February 4th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Dallas Mavericks versus Philadelphia 76ers. The Dallas Mavericks are set to face off against the Philadelphia 76ers in an interconference matchup that could prove pivotal for both teams. This contest marks the first of 2 scheduled meetings between these squads during the current NBA season. The Mavericks enter this game following a devastating road loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they were soundly defeated 144-101. Despite being given a generous 15.5-point spread in their favor, they failed to cover in what was a lopsided affair. Meanwhile, the 76ers also suffered a home defeat at the hands of the Boston Celtics, falling 118-100. However, Philadelphia managed to cover the spread as 11-point underdogs, showing some resilience despite the loss. The Mavericks are continuing to deal with injury-related setbacks as they remain without the services of Dwight Powell. Additionally, their recent high-profile acquisition, Anthony Davis, is listed as questionable for this contest, further complicating their rotation. On the other side, the 76ers are closely monitoring the statuses of several key players, including Joel Embiid, KJ Martin, Caleb Martin, and Eric Gordon, all of whom remain questionable for this matchup. The entire landscape of the NBA has shifted dramatically due to the recent trade that sent Luka Doncic away from Dallas, marking a significant change in direction for the franchise. In the aftermath of this blockbuster move, the Mavericks have slid to 9th place in the Western Conference standings. The team is also dealing with a slew of injuries, further hampering their ability to build cohesion and chemistry on the floor. Despite their current struggles, the addition of Anthony Davis provides a glimmer of hope for Dallas, as his versatility on both offense and defense can be a game changer. However, his injury history remains a concern, and his availability for this game is uncertain. Beyond Davis, the Mavericks are also dealing with injuries to Kyrie Irving, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gafford, all of whom are listed as questionable. Philadelphia has also faced its fair share of injury-related challenges, but the team's bench and rotation players have stepped up admirably to fill the void. Players like Guerschon Yabusele, Justin Edwards, and Ricky Council IV have embraced larger roles and provided valuable contributions on both ends of the court. However, the driving force behind the 76ers' recent performances has been Tyrese Maxey, who has been playing at an elite level. Maxey is currently averaging an impressive 28 points per game, ranking 4th in the NBA, and has scored 28 or more points in each of his last 14 outings. While final rosters will not be confirmed until just before tip-off, one certainty is that Tyrese Maxey will be on the floor, leading the charge for Philadelphia. The Mavericks are still in an adjustment phase following the departure of Luka Doncic, and this transition period is affecting them both mentally and physically. Not only have they lost their franchise cornerstone, but they also parted ways with key role player Maxi Kleber, making their depth even thinner. The injury-ridden squad struggled immensely in their last game, which saw them start Kyler Kelly and Olivier Maxence prosper in an experiment that resulted in a crushing 43-point defeat to Cleveland. This same lineup configuration is unlikely to yield better results against a capable Philadelphia team. The 76ers have their own injury concerns, but the combination of Tyrese Maxey and Kelly Albert Jr. should be more than enough to lead them to victory. Maxey, in particular, has been red-hot, surpassing the 30-point mark in each of his last 5 games. Although the 76ers have been plagued by injuries throughout the season, their prolonged adversity has forced them to adapt and develop the ability to compete effectively without some of their star players. Philadelphia has won 4 of its last 6 games, with the 2 losses coming in a tight one-possession game against the Denver Nuggets and a disappointing late-game collapse versus the Celtics. Meanwhile, the Mavericks continue to navigate the emotional and strategic fallout of the Luka Doncic trade, which blindsided many within the organization. It is evident that Dallas is still adjusting to this unexpected shift, and until they find stability, it is difficult to trust their consistency. With Anthony Davis yet to be cleared for action, it may take some time for the Mavericks to regain their footing. On the other hand, the 76ers are beginning to establish a rhythm and are playing with increasing confidence. At this stage, the Philadelphia 76ers appear to be the more stable and cohesive unit, whereas the Mavericks are still in the process of rediscovering their identity. Given Dallas' recent struggles and the ongoing roster uncertainty, Philadelphia is in a prime position to capitalize on the Mavericks' current weaknesses. So the Philadelphia 76ers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. This game is likely to feature a variety of unconventional lineups as both teams continue to deal with injuries and roster adjustments in the wake of Dallas' blockbuster trade. While it may seem logical to assume that offensive production will suffer due to the absence of several key players, it is actually the defensive side of the ball that will take the bigger hit. NBA players possess the skills to score in various ways, even in unfamiliar lineups, without requiring intricate offensive sets. However, team defense is much more complex as it requires strong communication, precise rotations, and a deep understanding of teammates' tendencies, elements that take time to develop. Given the number of moving parts in this matchup, both teams will likely struggle with defensive cohesion, leading to increased scoring opportunities. Additionally, many of the rotation players stepping into larger roles will be eager to make an impact, which often results in increased shot attempts and scoring efforts. Philadelphia has been forced to dig deep into its bench due to injuries, which has contributed to a slower overall pace of play. The 76ers have struggled with shooting efficiency throughout the season, regardless of their lineup configuration, and currently ranked 25th in the NBA in points per game. While Tyrese Maxey has been carrying much of the scoring burden for Philadelphia, opposing teams are beginning to implement defensive schemes designed to force other players to step up and make plays. Moreover, the 76ers rank 28th in the NBA in pace, preferring a more deliberate offensive approach. However, Dallas is expected to receive reinforcements in this game, with Kyrie Irving likely returning to action. His presence should help stabilize the Mavericks' offensive flow and generate higher scoring opportunities. Despite the roster changes, Dallas still has multiple scoring threats, and with Irving leading the charge, they should be able to produce enough offense to push the total past the projected mark. Expect a high-scoring affair as defensive struggles and increased offensive responsibilities for secondary players create ample scoring chances. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Boston Celtics versus Cleveland Cavaliers. The two most dominant teams in the Eastern Conference are set to clash in what promises to be an electrifying showdown on Tuesday night. The Boston Celtics, currently holding a solid 35-15 straight-up record and a less favorable 19-30-1 record against the spread, are coming off an impressive road victory over the Philadelphia 76ers. In that matchup, the Celtics secured a 118-110 win despite being 12.5-point favorites, showcasing their ability to close out tough games. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cavaliers, boasting an even stronger 40-9 straight-up record and an impressive 33-16 against the spread mark, dismantled a stunned Dallas Mavericks squad on Sunday, cruising to a dominant 144-101 victory as 15.5-point favorites. Both teams are riding strong performances, setting the stage for an intense battle between two of the best in the conference. When it comes to player availability, the Boston Celtics entered this contest at full strength, with no players listed on their injury report. On the other hand, the Cleveland Cavaliers will have to compete without two key rotational players, Isaac Okoro and Dean Wade, both of whom remain sidelined. This game will mark the third of four scheduled meetings between these two teams this season. The previous two encounters resulted in a split, with each team winning outright on their home floor. Interestingly, Cleveland has covered the spread in both matchups, going 2-0 against the spread. This upcoming contest has all the makings of a high-stakes showdown, as both teams are coming into the game with considerable momentum. The Cavaliers have been steamrolling opponents with dominant victories, while the Celtics have demonstrated their ability to sustain high-level play for a full 48 minutes. One key factor that could tilt the game in Boston's favor is their bench depth. Although Cleveland's rotation runs slightly deeper, Boston's bench pieces are more impactful and consistent. The Celtics are currently riding a 3-game winning streak, and while they had to travel to Cleveland for this matchup, They arrived a day early, allowing them ample time to acclimate. This should minimize any negative effects of travel. Talent is abundant on both sides of the court, but Boston holds an edge with their star player, Jason Tatum, who has consistently proven to be the difference maker in crucial games. Additionally, the Celtics have been an exceptional road team this season, hosting an impressive 19-6 straight-up record away from home. The Cleveland Cavaliers, however, have been nearly unbeatable when playing in front of their home crowd, boasting an extraordinary 24-3 straight-up record at Rocket Mortgage Field House, with the home team winning each of the first 2 meetings this season, and Cleveland's strong 33-16 against the spread mark. The Cavaliers appear to be a strong pick. If you're considering betting on Cleveland and taking the small spread, it's understandable given their home dominance. However, it's important to recognize that the Celtics remain the betting favorites to win the NBA championship, and it is extremely rare to see them listed as an underdog. In fact, this game marks only the 4th instance since June of last year in which Boston is entering a contest as an underdog. Given that the Celtics are fully healthy and playing at a high level, it's difficult to pass up the opportunity to back them in this rare underdog role. So the Boston Celtics to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. As mentioned earlier, this will be the 3rd of 4 meetings between these two powerhouses this season. The first 2 games saw each team successfully defend their home court, with Cleveland covering the spread in both instances. This upcoming matchup is shaping up to be a fiercely competitive battle, with both teams carrying strong momentum into the contest. Cleveland has been on a roll, delivering crushing victories against their recent opponents, while Boston has displayed the endurance and resilience needed to secure wins over tough competition. A crucial factor that could play a role in this game is Boston's bench, which, while not as deep as Cleveland's, has proven to be more consistent and reliable. The Celtics enter this matchup on a 3-game winning streak, and although they had to travel, their extra day in Cleveland ensures that travel fatigue should not be a concern. Both rosters are loaded with talent, but Boston possesses the best individual player on the floor in Jason Tatum, who has been instrumental in their success. Additionally, Boston's strong 19-6 straight-up road record suggests they are well equipped to compete in hostile environments. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston Rockets versus Brooklyn Nets. The Houston Rockets are set to face off against the Brooklyn Nets on Tuesday night in a crucial NBA matchup at Barclays Center. This game holds significant importance for both teams as they look to build momentum heading into the latter part of the season. The Rockets are eager to put an end to their ongoing 3-game losing streak and continue climbing the Western Conference standings. Meanwhile, the Nets, who have struggled with consistency over the past few months, have recently secured 2 consecutive victories and are looking to extend their winning streak. A 3rd straight win would be a much-needed boost for Brooklyn as they aim to stabilize their season. Houston will enter this contest without the services of Fred VanVleet, who remains sidelined due to injury, and the team is also closely monitoring the status of Alperen Sengun, who has been dealing with soreness in his calf. On the other hand, the Nets have once again ruled out Bojan Bogdanovic, Ben Simmons, and Noah Clowney, meaning they will be short-handed as well. The Rockets have not performed well over the past week, struggling to find success as injuries continue to take a toll on their lineup. Their current 3-game skid has highlighted the challenges they face when key players are unavailable. Houston has also been somewhat inconsistent when playing as favorites this season, covering the spread in just 18 of their 33 games in that role. Meanwhile, the Nets will enter this contest brimming with confidence after defeating the Rockets in their previous matchup on Saturday. Brooklyn has now won 2 straight games and is showing signs of improvement after a period of instability. The Nets last played on Saturday, whereas Houston is playing on the 2nd night of a back-to-back following a loss to the New York Knicks. The additional rest should give Brooklyn a noticeable advantage in this contest. Over the past month, the Houston Rockets have been fairly reliable both in terms of straight-up wins and against the spread performances. This is a game they are certainly capable of winning, but there are factors working against them. Playing on the 2nd night of a back-to-back with key injuries in their lineup could hinder their ability to secure a comfortable victory. The Brooklyn Nets, on the other hand, have the benefit of extra rest and are coming off an impressive win over this same Rockets team just a few days ago, despite being labeled as a double-digit underdog in that contest. Additionally, the Nets have dominated recent matchups against Houston, emerging victorious in 5 of their last 6 meetings. While a decisive win for the Rockets wouldn't be entirely surprising, there are enough reasons to believe the rested Nets can keep this game competitive and cover the spread. So the Brooklyn Nets to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Looking at the game's total, recent trends suggest that the under is the more favorable play, as it has hit in 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Brooklyn demonstrated its ability to contain Houston's offense in their previous game on Saturday, and given the Rockets' ongoing injury issues and lack of rest, it seems likely they will struggle to put up big numbers again. Furthermore, the Nets will also be without several key contributors, which could further slow the pace of the game. Brooklyn currently plays at the slowest pace in the entire NBA, averaging just 96.4 possessions per 48 minutes. Houston, while not among the league's slowest teams, isn't exactly known for pushing the tempo either, ranking 19th in overall pace. With their primary floor general, Fred VanVleet, sidelined, the Rockets are unlikely to speed up their offensive sets. While Houston has seen the overhit more frequently this season, the opposite has been true for Brooklyn. The determining factor in Tuesday's game will be player availability. If Houston remains without several key players, this matchup is likely to be a low-scoring affair. The under has hit in 13 of Brooklyn's 21 home games this season and has also cashed in 8 of their last 10 overall. With the Nets ranking as the 4th slowest team in the league and the Rockets sitting at 10th in pace, the game is projected to be played at a slower tempo, making the under a strong play. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. New York Knicks versus Toronto Raptors. The New York Knicks are set to travel north of the border to face off against the Toronto Raptors in an Eastern Conference matchup at Scotiabank Arena on Tuesday evening. The Knicks currently hold the 3rd spot in the Eastern Conference standings with an impressive 32-17 record. However, they are coming into this game on the 2nd night of a back-to-back, having hosted the Houston Rockets at Madison Square Garden on Monday. Meanwhile, the Toronto Raptors find themselves in 12th place in the East with a disappointing 16-33 record. They are coming off a strong 125-108 home victory against the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday. This will mark the 4th and final meeting between these two teams this season, with the Knicks seeking a season sweep over their division rivals. New York will once again be without 2 key players in Og Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson, both of whom remain sidelined due to injuries. On the other side, Toronto is closely monitoring the statuses of Chris Boucher and Bruce Brown, as both players are listed as questionable for this contest. The Raptors have been focusing on tightening up their defense as they attempt to climb back into postseason contention. Their recent efforts on that end of the floor have been paying off, particularly at home. During their current stretch of 6 consecutive home wins, which is part of an impressive 8-2 run over their last 10 games, they have managed to limit opponents to an average of just 101 points per game. The return of Immanuel quickly to the lineup provides the Raptors with another strong perimeter defender, which will be crucial against a Knicks squad that effectively spreads the floor with a variety of wing players. Additionally, Toronto's ability to force turnovers could pose problems for New York, considering the Knicks rank 25th in the NBA in turnover margin this season. In contrast, the Raptors excel in this department, ranking 4th in the league. Another factor to consider is the Knicks' performance in back-to-back situations this season, as they have posted a mediocre 3-3 record in such games. Furthermore, the added motivation for former Knicks players R.J. Barrett and Immanuel quickly to showcase their abilities against their old team could provide an extra spark for Toronto. Despite the fact that the Knicks have been the superior team throughout the season, they must be wary of a Raptors squad that has been playing much better basketball lately. New York has dominated this head-to-head matchup, having won 7 straight games against Toronto, while covering the spread in 6 of those victories. However, the Raptors hold a key advantage in this game: rest. While the Knicks had to battle the Rockets on Monday night, the Raptors enter this contest with a full day of rest. Additionally, Toronto is the healthiest they have been all season, which has directly contributed to their recent success. Over their last 10 games, they have gone 8-2 against the spread and straight up. In fact, the Raptors have won their last 5 games outright when entering as underdogs. Another encouraging sign for Toronto is that 12 of their 16 wins this season have come at Scotiabank Arena. While the Knicks come into this game as clear favorites, especially after their impressive comeback victory over the Rockets last night, the Raptors are proving to be a dangerous team that has been flying under the radar. Given their recent form, they are more than capable of pulling off another upset win at home. Toronto is a tough place for teams to play, particularly on the 2nd night of a back-to-back. The Raptors are playing their best basketball of the season right now, so the Toronto Raptors to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. On the defensive side of the ball, the Raptors have been particularly strong when playing at home over the past month. In their last 6 home games, they have allowed an average of just over 100 points per contest, making life difficult for opposing offenses. They will be facing a Knicks team that recently struggled to generate scoring against the Los Angeles Lakers, posting their lowest point total in 5 games during that matchup. Another important factor to consider is New York's pace of play. The Knicks currently rank 24th in the NBA in pace, meaning they prefer a slower, more methodical style of play. On the second night of a back-to-back, their pace is likely to be even slower as fatigue begins to set in. Both teams have demonstrated the ability to step up defensively in recent games. The Knicks have surrendered an average of 112 points over their last 5 contests, while the Raptors have been even stingier, allowing just 100.5 points per game in their previous 4 outings. The overall pace of play in this matchup does not suggest a high-scoring affair. Toronto ranks 9th in the league with a pace rating of 100.2, while the Knicks remain among the slowest teams in the NBA, ranking 24th with a pace of 97.98. Given the combination of Toronto's strong defense and New York's potential fatigue, this game is likely to be a low-scoring battle. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.